Yer, what up? Welcome back to another video, guys. Here we got my 2020 Lowrider S, nice and clean. It is a cloudy and rainy day today, as you can see. Weather's not that bad, it's not that cold today. But I decided to come out here in the garage and do a video today. I posted a video up 2 days ago, and the video was titled Why Dyna Riders Don't Like My Lowrider S. And within that video, I started talking about, I got into a few words about Harley Davidson and the company right now. And I thought it would be a really good idea to get into that. And today I want to be talking about everything that's wrong with Harley Davidson and where they went wrong in terms of the type of clientele that they pursued for the last few years or so. Where the company stands, in my opinion, as opposed alongside with other companies when it comes to sales and longevity, new ideas, and everything else. So we're gonna roll the intro, guys. We're gonna get into the video right about now. All right, guys, let me just start by saying that these are only my ideas. These are my thoughts. So take it with a grain of salt. Hopefully we walk away with something from this video today. All right, so let's talk about the company first before we dive into everything else of where it's at presently. As a fellow Harley rider, if you're not, let's talk about the history real quick. So obviously the company has been around for a very long time, since 1903. And over the years, it has become an American icon, an American staple. Anytime you think about America and America's history, you automatically think about Harley Davidson, and that logo comes to mind right there. I mean, there's no way that you can think about Americana and this company doesn't come into mind. It's been through almost every war that this country has gone through. It's been through and out of the Great Depression, the Great Recession, and as opposed to other American companies from back in the day, it made it out alive alongside with Indian, even though Indian went bankrupt a few times and it's now owned by Polaris. Harley Davidson has been able to hold its name, and even though in the 70s it was owned by another company for a little while, it got its identity back, and today the company owns itself. I guess over the years the company itself has not been doing good whatsoever. If you follow the stock market, you know that it hasn't grown much at all. And that to me brings a lot of questions. Why hasn't the company been growing? And basically the actual answer is because a lot of new riders are not buying these motorcycles. And that's the next topic we're going to get into right now, is who rides Harley Davidson, who has been riding them. Right now, if you're a young kid and you're 18, 19, 20, and you're coming out of college, you probably do not have the money or the funds to buy yourself a Harley Davidson. Why? Because one, it's expensive. Two, the competition is bringing out much cheaper items, much more affordable items. And three, this is something that you haven't grown up on. This is not nostalgic to you. So for baby boomers, this is the bike of choice. Now for millennials and any other generations below them, this is not the bike that they think about. This isn't the bike they are interested in when they think about motorcycles. What's really popular are obviously naked bikes. For some reason, sport bikes are making a comeback again. It kind of, everyone deterred away from sport bikes for a while, but they're kind of making a comeback. And there's a lot of the big four in Japan that are just coming out with a bunch of technology right now on all their bikes, and it's crazy the amount of technology that they have put into these bikes in the last 5 years alone. And the sad fact is that Harley Davidson is nowhere near any type of technology that these bikes have. And this is supposed to be a cruiser bike. This is supposed to be a comfort bike. And you would think that on a bike like this, you would have all sorts of technology. But unfortunately, that's not the case. So you have cheaper, more affordable bikes from your competitors at a cheaper price and offering more technology and offering a lot more than what this company is right now. Now, for years and years, this company has catered only to one type of clientele, and that's the baby boomers. The only thing is that right now the baby boomers are retiring. This generation is getting too old to ride. They're giving up their bikes, and they're not purchasing as many bikes as they were before. Harley Davidson just focused on one clientele for the last few decades, and I think that's where their main mistake was. Because while they were chasing these people that, yes, they had the money and they were well established already, they forgot about the younger crowds, the younger generation, and the future. And the future generation is the generation that is supposed to be carrying the company forward. And unfortunately, they forgot about that generation, and they didn't cater to them as much. So that's why now you really don't see that many young people saying, oh, you know what, I want a Harley, or I want this, or I want a Harley for such and such reasons. You just don't hear. And if you do, I mean, it's, you know, it's once in a blue. I'm 32, so I'm right at the cross gate from being a millennial. I am considered a millennial, an old millennial. It puts me in the category where I grew up on this company. I grew up watching it evolve through the last 20 years or so. And I was lucky and fortunate enough to be born in such a time where I'm able to still to see what happened in the past and see how influential it was presently while I was growing up until to this day now. And even though I gotta be honest, and I was always a sport bike fan more than a Harley fan growing up, something just drew me to this company. Something drew me to ride this type of motorcycle, and I'm happy I made that choice. I'm extremely happy with my purchase and my decision to go with, you know, a Harley Davidson over a Japanese bike, or a Harley Davidson over an Indian, or any type of other bike. Like, I'm extremely happy with my purchase. I just wish the company would focus more on the new riders, the younger riders right now, because without them, without any of the new generations wanting to get this bike, the company's going to suffer. And if the company suffers, then me as a consumer later on, I'm going to be very, very impacted, because that could only mean one thing. Number one, the company could go out of business. Number two, the company's going to stop making certain products because they can afford to, let's say, you know, keep certain plants open or stuff like that. So it's like a domino effect. The minute one thing happens where the company starts taking in money in a certain way, things need to stop. And they're gonna cut corners, and they're either gonna just stop making certain bikes, or they're gonna stop making these motorcycles the way they do, and it's gonna impact the company gratefully. Like, it's a bit scary at times. And even though there is young riders who are interested in the company today, there's just not enough. And that to me is scary, and that to me is an issue. There needs to be more. There needs to be more people, more younger riders that are interested in the company. And lately, the company has been shifting and making new things. For example, this 2020 Lowrider S, which was beautifully done. They are reaching out to different markets. They're coming out with the Bronx now, which is their naked bike, which in my opinion, it looks okay. I think that it could have changed a few things on that bike. They're also going after the adventure bike market. And now with the Livewire as well, they're going after the all electric market as well. Even though Zero has been doing it for some time, and they're doing it way cheaper. So the company is evolving. They are taking the proper steps now to become bigger than what they are and reach out different clienteles. But you got to ask yourself, is it too late for that? Is it too late? maybe there should have been something that Harley Davidson should have been doing 10 years ago, and they would have attracted the attention of different markets and the attention of younger riders. Because at this point, it's like, all right, well, you're going after these markets, but guess what? The big four Japanese companies have been doing naked bikes for some time now, so you're late for the show. BMW and KTM have been doing the adventure bike thing for quite some time, and they're very profitable, and they're doing very good in that. So is your bike going to make a difference in that? The electric thing, I think that's something that they could actually have a good chance in, because I mean right now Zero is basically the only company doing everything proper. So with just Harley Davidson starting now, I think they caught onto that at a good time. The whole idea of them going with expensive bike first, the first live wire being $30,000, to me just doesn't make any sense. I mean, it kind of worked for Tesla in their formula when Tesla came out with the Model S. They're one of their highest priced cars, and now they come out with the Model 3, and the Model 3 is actually their best selling car. And now they're coming out with the Model Y. So they started from the most expensive products going down to the cheaper. And for Tesla, it has worked out. But is it going to work out for Harley Davidson? I really don't. It's with the motorcycle community is way different from the car community, just in all different factors. Everything's different. So at least they're trying new things. They're trying to reach out new markets. But I just, man, if the company would have been doing this 20-30 years ago, and right when my generation hit 13, because when you're around that age is when you start attracting the minds of young boys, mostly, that are into cars and motorcycle, and they start looking at magazines. If you would have attracted their minds during that time by doing things differently, you would have had a much bigger following now. Like, why don't you have a sport bike? I think Harley Davidson should have a sport bike. Yes, you want to just focus on cruisers, that's totally fine. But if let's say if you had an option to also have a sport bike, then guess what? The younger community that's into sport bikes and supermotos and everything else, they're going to come to your stores and they're going to look at your bikes, not only because you're carrying cruisers, but you're carrying other bikes that they're interested in. Well, so it's not about having one type of bike, it's about reaching a market where you're able to get people in your stores to shop for your product. You understand? Like, that to me makes much more sense. I don't know, but I could be wrong. So leave your thoughts down below. Let me know what you guys think. Should the company be focusing more, reaching out to different clienteles, or should they keep going the way they are? Do you guys think that as all the baby boomers are retiring now, that is going to affect their sales much, or what? Like, I want to know everyone's opinions, and especially you guys as Harley Davidson riders right now. Where do you guys see the company going forward? Where do you see the company 10 years from now? That's what I want to know from you guys. I want to open up your minds, guys. Let's start having some good discussions. Leave your feedback. I would love to hear what everyone has to say. I think that's gonna cut it, guys. That's just my 2 cents on where I think Harley Davidson is today, and how I think the company should be pursuing different markets and where they could honestly do better. Like always, guys, ride safe, enjoy the ride. I hope everyone enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.